Oh, shit. How you doing? What's up? Election time is up. What's up? This is Florida. And I came here in the past. You know, you go online. It was me and another girlfriend at the time. And you research where you want to move. A lot of people do that. The crime was number one concern. And the crime was low. But we as close as New York now. And a lot of people see that as being proudful. But I see it as a state who is losing its reputation. And I'm trying to think, because this is a rich state. This is where the rich people live. And it's supposed to have been, when I read it at the time, the Bible state. And I thought of Bible, I'm thinking of good. No evil come to thee, because God's children know how to show love. At least to love thy neighbor. But today somebody said something to me that was very sexist about women. First of all, they ain't like lesbian. And he didn't know he was talking to one. I don't have to be in bed with a lesbian to consider myself a lesbian. There's a lot of men who are single and they're still men. There are a lot of ladies who are single and they're still a single straight lady. But they don't mind seeing the woman in booty shorts and broad type of shirts and stuff like that. And the only thing I could think about is that you don't like, most lesbians, we don't dress a certain way because I was a tomboy. And men are like always saying nasty things. Ooh, your booty, to me, is nasty. Your booty big, I want to do this. I used to wear a married ring on my finger when I was single in New York because I wanted to avoid all that. So the minute they say anything, I would just up my finger. And they see that. And a respectable man would just, continue to go. But what I told the people that were around me, that I knew of a lesbian, and I knew some guys who pasteurize. And because they pasteurize, women look at them differently, especially vulnerable women who are at a homeless state. And sometimes people don't understand, people aren't homeless. Some people go to places to eat, to meditate, because they know it's free. I don't have to give myself, I don't have to go out there prostitute or anything. It's free, it's there, it's for me. Or rob. And these men don't look respectable. Most of them probably drink beer or whatever the case may be, but you will never hear that when they in the pulpit. And I knew one who, they was always talking about lesbian like they're doing now. So they got the lesbian feeling like they had to change. And I remember this lesbian, she gave herself to him. They got married. But it didn't last. Eventually they got on crack. I don't know who was on it, but she was on crack. And it took her down, and he ended up leaving her. And to most men, when it comes to lesbian, they just see a woman who hasn't been touched by a man, and that's all they want. A man doesn't change his stripe overnight. And so does not a lesbian, and so does not a straight woman, and so does not a bio. That all comes in time with God. The Bible says he takes one and leave one. Do you know one? For his ways are not our ways. His thinking is not our thinking. So stop pushing it upon people and let God take control. You tell us all the time to let God take control, to give him the issue. But I told him, you know what? God brought me here, and the conversation is always an intelligent conversation. One that each one is not arguing at each other, but just saying what they have to say. And then I was telling them how people in New York City, we don't know why who decided to throw the homeless in jail. This is the Republican, basically. Whether it's Democrat, you already know who's running the show here, because of the business people themselves, and which are mostly Republicans. And why would the rich build a $450 million tower, got all these new places, we're going to throw the poor in jail? New York City, they get you in a hotel, and you in that hotel, you don't got no income, you in a program, they pay for it, and you just got to go make sure you're looking for a place. They pay for it while you look for their place. You probably got to be in at a certain time, but that's how the program is, unless you work. Then as I was saying that, somebody else was saying, yeah, in our state do that too. And they said, well, Florida got something that says 3 months. They'll put you. I said, 3 months? This is a rich state. They want us to choose Republican. They want us to be on their side, but they're hiding the money. And when God teach about greed, like today, I got like 3 or 4 different plates. And I was like, wow. But when it came for second, I said, I'm not going to go because I know about greed. And the Bible says, don't be greedy. But men don't see themselves as greedy. They see themselves as rich. But we're losing ourselves. And then you have the rich complaining that things are happening, but maybe God is showing you didn't think about what you had. Now you got to fight for it. And you're fighting for it in a devious way. Not caring about the other man, but what's going to come for you, where you're going to live, where you're going to go to. But you want us to vote for you. And I'm trying to understand it. It's a Republican state. It's a rich state. Why are people suffering? The Great Fire. And I'm saying to myself, it's just like the Great Fire. They wanted something. They basically, there was a fire. We don't know how it occurred, but we know there was basically a lot of people that wanted not to give up their land. And all of a sudden, we got a big fire. And most of downtown and certain areas were destroyed, but they were rebuilt, but not built. Downtown was not built like the other areas around it. Think about it. And as we begin to think and begin to ask each other these questions, everybody started to look at each other. And then they was talking about a breakfast they had. I said, you had breakfast, pancakes, grits, sausage. I said, who fed you this? Somebody came and fed you. And then you could feed people that. I know you could feed them what you ought to feed them. Because the reputation is not making Florida look like it cares about the poor. Like you got to go the extra mile. And we're not poor because we're poor. People are poor because somebody got to be poor so the rich can be rich. And I'm saying to myself, they in church, they preach that God takes you back. God takes you back. Just like I told somebody, I had an apartment, I had this, I had that. People told me that they was going to take it away. And they found a way to do it. And a lot of people had a lot of stuff. But God is preparing you for the roaring lion. Because you achieve, but this person don't want to see you get where they at. So when the Bible say in the last days the rich shall fall, the rich is doing everything to keep the poor down. Because they already know what time it is. So now there's more chaos. I was downtown the other day. There was one business that had so many immigrants in there that the people who are in Florida couldn't really order too much food because they didn't understand what they were saying. And the people who was English wasn't too many that spoke English, had to take care of the customer and send everybody to the back room. I was like, wow. But God showed you these things. And everybody complaining, oh, the Democrat doing it, the Democrat doing it. The Democrat can't only do what the Republicans allow, because the Republicans are basically the real business people who got the real money. They brag about it, they talk, yeah. Like one guy say, I'm going home. That is nothing to say to a couple of people who ain't going home. Psychologically, what are you saying? Psychologically, where do you want them to go? And I started thinking about that, and I'm saying, God, they keep saying, elect us, elect us. Now, who would choose to put the homeless in jail than to give them what God gave you, a home? And to make other states make you look like you don't care about those who go down. Because you need the poor. You will always have poor. Because not everybody's in that category to move up. It's just that inquiring mind wants to know. Remember that? Inquiring mind wants to know. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? All those things we got away from. Even losing our children. I told somebody, now what we go through, them children that you're blessed, that you're trying to say they used to drug dealers and you're not made a little thing so they can come up like Zulu, a little nation thing so they can rise. But no, they knew how to get the money. Show them how to get the food without the money. That way the robbing and all that other stuff can be trained to leave alone. Because if it comes down to it, they're going to do what they got to do to survive. And most likely they ain't going to change. Don't send nobody who out there who already know how to survive. While they laugh and giggle in your face. Send them out there who don't know. And then you begin to understand God just a little bit more. You may not know his ways. I don't know his ways. I pray every day. Father, if I'm wrong, forgive me. But we try every day. So what are we electing? And for what reason? So the next time you vote, click. Think about the other states and find out who made that law. Because this is a rich state. No reason why anybody should be going to jail. Peace out on that one. On a Sunday blessing. I wanted some grits, I wanted all that. But I had my calzone, spinach pouch on, and pizza. That's where I was. I said, God, where was I? Oh, everybody's blessed in a different way. We're so giving in church. Even the rich. They think giving is, yes, it's good to give. But it's also better to see some